Time now for your forewarned weather with Cedric Haynes.
All right, good morning, Utah. Let's talk about your forecast as we move into a new week. First off, I want to show you a beautiful scene here. This is a sunset over Utah Lake from this weekend. Thanks, Brian Priest, for sharing this with us. And you can see here, looking over the lake there, just some gorgeous conditions with those mostly clear skies showing up off in the background and that beautiful sunset color we've come to love around here across the state of Utah. All right, let's look at those temperatures out there right now. 48 degrees in Ogden, 40 degrees. Good morning to you in Logan. We've got 41 degrees in Price, 35 in Emory, 34 Hanksville and Cedar City, and it's 51 degrees currently for our friends in St. George this morning. So as you get ready to head out the door, not a lot of major weather issues to tell you about, but again, we've got some of these clouds coming in. It's basically this northerly flow that's going around the ridge of high pressure, and it's helping to pull down some of these high clouds. So you're going to notice more clouds in the sky, primarily as you get east of I-15 over towards the Uintas, down through Castle Country. That's the areas that we're going to be looking at some of those clouds. And they're primarily going to be in place for this morning. By the time we get towards the afternoon, a lot of these clouds will be out of here. And here's the reason why. We're watching a big ridge of high pressure to the south and west that's trying to nose in from the south and west. And as it does so, it's going to bring us some pleasant conditions, but it's also going to help to push and shove out the cloud cover and the precipitation and push it well away from the region. And that's going to be the pattern really as we progress throughout the rest of this week. So for the rest of today, how about nearing 60 up in the Cache Valley, 67 in Price, 68 in Wendover, should top out near 70 in Cedar City, 68 degrees in Blanding, and about 83 degrees for our friends in St. George this afternoon. So high pressure, it's a heat ridge that's going to be building in. This is kind of an early summer preview for us. It's going to continue to build in and pretty much sit on top of us by the time we get towards the middle of the week. That's going to mean continued warm and dry conditions, but really expanding warmth and dry conditions as the ridge of high pressure goes way up into Canada, which means nothing is going to be approaching us here in the coming days. But by the end of the week, we'll start to break down that ridge of high pressure, and then it'll allow for a cooler and more unsettled weather pattern to return. So just don't get too used to this, but a nice little early taste of summer-like weather heading our way. As far as wet weather potential goes this week, again, as we go throughout the next few days, forget about it. With that ridge of high pressure in place, no real chance, but we'll introduce a chance of some showers into the forecast as we get towards the end of the week, heading into the upcoming weekend, and that could spell a change back to a more wetter pattern as we get towards the beginning days of the month of April. But between now and then, yeah, it's all about the heat, folks, and we are going to be bringing it. St. George, look at this. We're talking about highs in the low 80s today. Highs right around record territory as we get towards your Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And notice on Wednesday, I'm forecasting 90 degrees. That would be our first 90 of the year, but also would have also potentially set a record high temperature. But we've got about 3 days there where we've got to watch for potential record heat across the area. Salt Lake City, yeah, we've got temperatures in the upper 60s. That's about 10 degrees above average for this time of the year, but it's about 10 degrees shy of the record high temperature for today. But we get closer as we get into your Tuesday, and I think Wednesday and the Thursday are going to be the days we're going to be watching closely for potential record highs as we get towards this week for the Salt Lake Valley. But either way, you could see some very warm temperatures well above average, and we're talking potential near record highs making their way back into the Beehive State. So after what has been an up and down weather pattern with rain to snow, it seems like over the past several weeks, we're going to be talking about some warm temperatures on the way. St. George, low 80s for us today, upper 80s on Tuesday. We're nearing 90 on your Wednesday. And look at this, we stay warm to wrap up the work week, but by the weekend, we do cool it down. But hey, 70s, 75, that's not too bad. The Wasatch Front, upper 60s today, 70s for your Tuesday. How about near 80 degrees for your Wednesday? And then we'll cool it down big time for the weekend with a chance of a scattered rain shower or two moving through the area.